Hey folks, welcome back. I want to show you something today that's not only interesting for Bitwig Studio users. Of course, I show it how it works in Bitwig, but you can use it in every DAW, in every modular system, and it's also nice knowledge to have because it blends between sound design and harmony theory. So let's say we play here in a certain scale some kind of music, and I'm using a Piano Tech 9, which just released today. So we play in a certain scale. Okay, a certain scale, and then you say, okay, let's put some kind of filter on that. So we do this, we use a filter plus here, low pass filter, and we switch this to band pass filter. And then we say we want to randomly modulate this. We use a random modulator here, 8 note. And then we modulate here the frequency knob of the filter. So let's say here by, I don't know, 50 semitones, right? And to show you where we end up on the frequency spectrum here, I increase the resonance. And of course, this is random. This is not in the scale that we just played in, so which is D sharp minor. Okay, so it's not in the scale. We end up on random positions in the frequency spectrum. So what we want to do is, of course, we want to just highlight, or we want to end up on frequencies that are in the scale of the scale we are currently playing, which is D sharp minor. And this is not very easy here with the modulation system in Bitwig because we don't have no scale modulator or a diatonic transposer for the modulation signal. So we have to do something different, okay? And I show you first how it looks like in the piano roll, so you have an idea what I'm actually doing, what I'm modulating, right? And this is what I mean by it blends between harmony theory and sound design, because we modulate here to certain degrees and we end up on a scale because of harmony theory, okay? So let's say we want to play in the scale of C major, and we all know C major is very easy. It's just all of the white keys, right? So C to C, all of the white keys is C major, very easy. Also, A minor, turns out, uses the same notes. We just start on a different note. So we start on A, all of the white notes up until A. And you can see it uses basically all of the same notes, just here is, that's actually B is also here, and then C is also here. So all of the white notes, just on we start on a different point, which gives us different intervals, right? For the first chord here, we have different intervals than for this first chord here. So same notes, very easy. But the thing is, all of these scales, so C minor, D minor, E minor, A major, whatever scale you can think of, is actually constructed by just stacking fifths on top of each other. That's why we also have the circle of fifth, right? So all of these scales are constructed out of just stacking fifths, and fifths are just seven semitones apart. 7 notes, 7 semitones apart. Very easy to remember. And you probably say, wait, polarity, actually here you can see that's clearly not 7 semitones. Here we have 2 semitones, here we have 2 semitones, here it's just 1 semitone. Yeah, but that's just a compressed form of the scale. So you can say, let's start on C, and then we use the first interval, which is a fifth, so we go up 7 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? We end on G. Look, it's in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look, it's in the scale. It's D, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not in the scale. So this one is not in there. It turns out The next note is actually 7 semitones lower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's F. So with this, we have the extended or the real scale. How the real scale looks like. What you can see here is the compressed form. It's basically just using all of these notes and pulling down 1 octave. 1, 2, 3. So this one goes down, right? This one goes up. So it's just skipping around an octave. So it's the compressed form. So all of these notes are within 1 octave. That's the idea behind it. So let's go back here. Okay. So we know for C major, we have to actually go down to F, which is 4 semitones lower from C. Is it actually? Yeah, we have to go down, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have to go down 7, of course. Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, anyway. So we have to start on F, and then we can say 7 semitones, 7, 7, 7, okay, 6, until we have 6 notes, and then we end up basically on the scale of C major. So it's very easy, because we can just use a quantizer for that and say, just give us 7 semitones each time, and we are good, right? So we can do this here with the modulation system in different ways. Maybe I just leave this open here so you can see it. So what we can do now here is we can use a quantizer, and to use a calculator for now, so you can see what I'm calculating. This one. Okay, so we have 7 semitones, and we need 6 notes. Because we have the first note here, which is F, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes we need, right? So we have 7 semitones times 6 ends up on 42, which is the maximum value we want to modulate, okay? So we take here the sample node, or the quantizer, not the sample node, the quantizer here, and modulate this by exactly 42 semitones. 42. Is it actually 42? Yeah, it's 42. 42 semitones. And we want to change the resolution to 6, because we have 6 notes. And then instead of using here the random modulator or modulate the frequency directly, we modulate here actually the quantizer by exactly 1. And now we have here the root frequency, which is C, which is not what we want. We just want to start on F. Okay, so we go to F here, F1 for instance, and then we modulate this here by 42, which we have, and then we should end up on C major, maybe. So this is how you do this, actually. It's not easy maybe to get what I did here, but you can see all of the scales are just stacked fifths or stacked fifths, and sorry. And we can do this easily with the quantizer here, or maybe with some other tools. So all I have to remember is basically that I have to use a quantizer with a resolution of 6, and I modulate this frequency knob by 42 semitones. And it's true for every scale. The only thing that changes now is basically the initial center frequency. I'm using F here, so I'm basically creating with this the notes of A minor and C major. There's no difference. We just randomly modulate this and we end up on the same notes, because A minor or C major and A minor just shares the same notes. There is no difference there. It's just important for melodies, basically, where you start and where you end, to actually create a sense of having A minor or C major. But you use basically the same frequencies. It's the same notes, it's the same frequencies, it's all the same. So when I want to change this for a different, let's say, scale, and I use, of course, all the time D sharp minor, we can see A minor is here, and from A minor to F, it's actually 4 semitones, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means when I want to play in D sharp minor, right, I have to go down 4 semitones, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is B1, okay? So if I want to use D sharp minor or F sharp major, which is the same notes, I need to go down to B1 or B2, whatever. It needs to be a B note. And then I end up basically in the scale of D sharp minor. Okay, so it's perfectly in scale. It's very easy. All you need to remember is basically the quantizer setting, that you have 6 here, and that you modulate this by 42. And then you need to remember basically the offset frequency, which is B for D sharp. But you can also just save this as a preset and call it a day, right? And then you modify it for different scales and you have it ready to go. Another way of doing this is when you use, for instance, here the voice stacking, right? We can use filter plus here with voice stacking. So we have this multiplied, and we use here stack spread, and we can switch this to value. So value is interesting because it not only modulates between 0 and +1, it modulates actually in decimals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So what we can do with this is, so let's say we have your voice stacking on, three voice stacks, and we modulate this here by exactly 7 semitones. So that's a bit easier, right? So the first voice is actually on C here, and the next voice is 7 semitones higher, and the second voice is again 7 semitones higher, and so on. So we have here a stack of fifths and 7 semitones apart of each of these frequencies, which is also nice to have. So we go down here again to B1 maybe, and we increase here the voice stacks to 8. So we have 8 different frequencies. So we have basically a nice harmonic modal. Maybe use a test tone here. Test tone. EQ plus. Right, all the notes here of D sharp minor. Maybe more voice stacks. So, as you can see, if you know what's going on, then yeah, you can play around with this. So you need to know how these scales are constructed, and you can create modulation signals that are easily in the scale. So this is how I do it, and I want to show you this because I just create some presets coming to Bitwig. I don't know when it's coming, but I'm creating some presets here for the filter plus and for some of the filters, and sometimes you need to end up on a scale. You just want to have a nice harmonic response from the filter, and you can do it in this kind of way. So I want to show you this, and like I said, it's not only interesting for Bitwig. You can use this anywhere where you can modulate in semitone steps, and you have a modulation system, maybe in Vital, maybe in Serum or whatever. Some of these systems or synthesizer actually use scales for the modulation system or for the modulation signals. In Bitwig we don't have it, but sometimes it's nice to know how everything comes together, how everything works together. And yeah, that's it basically. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Leave a like, leave a subscription. See you then. Bye.